What's going on, everybody? Extremely excited today. I am butterflies nervous myself right now. Introducing veteran voice of the Octagon, host of the It's Time podcast. He says it's time way better than I do. Has a second degree black belt in Tang Soo Do. Hopefully, I said that right. Legendary UFC Octagon announcer himself, the Buff, Mr. Bruce Buffer. Woo! Yeah.
Hi,
How you
how
doing,
are you?
man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show. You did say it close. It's Tong Sudo.
Tang
Tong
Soo Do.
Sudo.
Okay, great. I'm already messing up. So my
No, you're doing fine. Trust me, it's all good.
Yeah. How have you been this morning? I know you're a very busy guy.
Yeah, no, busy working. I just had a big meeting because I'm working on my line of facial products and cologne that's coming out at the beginning of the year.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
Great.
yeah, we're busy with a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally understand that. I wanted to ask you, I know of course you're always busy with your announcing endeavors. But besides that, how have you been spending your time during the quarantine?
I look at this time to be the time that we should get in the best mental and physical shape possible. So
Okay.
eat right, feel right, stay right. If you look at my Instagram, which is Bruce Buffer UFC, I'll put up, workout videos occasionally or things that are going on. We all have to stay as positive as we can, but you would need to be in the best physical and mental shape you can to deal with this. And also, too, when we come out of this, when it's over and we come out of the gate, you want to be able to perform the best way possible. So don't let up during this time. Just keep going. And if you have the right attitude, just try to be the best you can be for yourself, because that's the only way you're going to be the best you can be for everybody around
Great words of advice. And you did mention your Instagram. I'm not going to be shy about it. We do stalk you on Instagram. And we do notice how great of shape you are in. And we
you. Oh,
do
thank
see
you.
you do all kinds of stuff. What does a normal training day look like for you, Mr. Buffer?
I train. I mean, obviously, when I'm on the road, I train certain ways in my room, which just involves a lot of push ups and planks and squats and everything you can do. These days, I don't run to the gym in the hotels. And if the
Yeah.
hotel has a gym, in the old days, of course I did. But I've got a gym here in my home, and I train, every day for at least an hour a day, hour and a half a day. Flexibility, mixing it up, swimming, surfing, all that. Just anything I do to stay in shape. But you got to mix it up so you don't get bored.
Oh no. Okay, for sure, definitely. Another thing I wanted to ask you, and again, don't take this the wrong way, but I would love to look half as good as you when I'm your age. I would love to. So do you have any tidbits or advice to give me as, time progresses?
Well, you look great, and obviously you train yourself, so
A
there's no
little
problem
bit.
there. It's a little bit. Well, a little bit's working. So really, here's the main thing: is that obviously training is great for releasing and feel good endorphins in your brain, taking care of your body, stress relief, anxiety, the whole bit, all the obvious. But in life, it's a simple combination. You stay in shape, and it's by 75% what you put in your body and 25% how you train, not the other way around.
Okay.
75% what you put in your body. If you're eating hamburgers and processed food and fast foods all day long, good luck. And I'm 63 looking back. I know what that would have been like today if I ate like that all my life.
Yeah.
What you do, what you do today is what you're going to feel tomorrow. It's really that simple. I'm not saying don't have cheat days. I mean, I certainly enjoy a good hamburger once in a while myself, but the bottom line is, if you eat that way every day, you're just asking for it. So you either want to be in the best shape you can be, or you just want to be what you are.
No, awesome. Great. You mentioned cheat meal though. What is your go-to cheat meal or your favorite cheat meal, if you don't mind me asking?
Usually it'd be an Italian meal, which still would be a nice piece of salmon, but some pesto pasta and
Yeah.
all that, or actually just a real country breakfast of eggs and bacon and sausage and toast and stuff like that on a Sunday brunch will do it for me. I'm not a
Oh,
sweetie. I don't eat sweets. I'm not a big sweet eater. My birthday, I'll have a piece of cake, but certain pies I like, but I'm not a sweet eater, which helps a
yeah.
lot.
No, definitely. I did want to ask you too, besides your athletic training, what you do vocally, because you have a powerful, awesome voice for all these years. What's something you can share that you do to keep your voice up to par for all these years?
Don't do anything that's going to damage your voice. Smoking and other kinds of stuff. Just take care of your voice. Bottom line, stay healthy. Stay healthy, and you'll be healthy. At the shows, I keep some honey and Ricolas or Hall's Mentholyptus on the table, and that's it. And you have to learn how, when you announce, you have to learn to bring it from here, not from here. I used to bring it
Okay.
from here and get hoarse after every show. You got to learn like a singer does, and you bring it from here.
Okay. No, awesome, great stuff. Again, I'll never be like that, but I've always been curious because it's not like you whisper it. You're powerful when you say everybody's names, and it's been consistent all these years.
It's called passion, my friend. And the moment the passion wanes, then I'm going to retire. I'm not going to do this unless I love to do it.
You bring up something else I want to talk about. Thank you for that. I saw you on Ariel Hawani's podcast, and you mentioned possible retirement in 10 years, which that's great for us. We want to keep hearing you for more than that.
Oh,
Is
thank you.
that a cutoff time, or is there an open for more years than 10?
No, it's open for more. It's all about, physically, am I, wanting and willing to do the travel and everything involved, where we're at. I mean, there's a lot of sacrifices leading the kind of lifestyle that I lead. You're here on the weekdays, your family, your loved ones, girlfriend, whatever the case might be, and then you're gone on the weekends. It's not always the easiest thing, and sacrifices are made, but I have an incredible life. It's a kind of a James Bond lifestyle. I get the call, I put a tuxedo in a bag and
Yeah.
go to a city, find a casino, whatever the case might be. But 10 years is 10 years. I'm not putting any time limit on it. It all depends how I feel. And maybe it could be more, maybe it could be less. But I'll say it right now, it all depends on my passion. If my passion wanes, I'm not going to travel 35 times a year unless I'm really into it.
Okay.
And the passion not waning, it's there. It's more passion. I love what I do.
And it seems that way, and that's another thing I wanted to mention, is you seem like the most lively, positive guy ever out there. You're just full of energy. You would never, you're just like, man, that guy is just on it. Where does that derive from?
It's me. It's who I am.
Okay.
I get energized walking in the octagon by announcing these great warriors. The fans are fantastic. They're not in the arenas now, but I know they're watching. The show is not about me. It's about the fighters and about the entertainment for the fans. And every night I walk in the octagon, it's my first night. I've been doing this for almost 25 years. So every show that I walk in, it is my first night to prove to Dana White, the powers that be I work for, the fans and the fighters I'm announcing that I deserve this job. And to me, that I deserve this job. And I do not talk about the show I did 2 weeks ago or UFC 100 where I did a 360. I simply focus on the night at hand. And I'll walk out of there at the end of the night and I'll know I either hit it out of the park or I'll criticize myself or whatever the case might be. But I'm only as good as my last performance. And that's the way I do it. And that keeps me hungry. That keeps me young and hungry walking in.
That humbleness is just incredible to listen to, especially for a guy of your stature. That's awesome to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, you mentioned UFC 100. Still to this day, one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. Brock Lesnar was big time. The 360, is that something you'll ever try again, or that's it?
No, that's it. I mean, I've done it without jumping up and doing it. I've done it where I've moved around in a 360, but as far as jumping in the air and spinning around like that, I mean, I can do it right now. But the thing is that you do it once, it'll last forever.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't know when the moment overtakes me because I never know what I'm going to do until I do it.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that's one and out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it was awesome to see.
Yeah, it's a hell of a thing to pull off in street shoes and a tuxedo in front of 20,000 fans and millions watching on TV. So I'm very happy that that moment went well.
It was immaculate. It was perfect. Is there any hobbies or anything your fans don't necessarily know about you that you'd like to share?
Well, I'm a movie buff.
Okay.
I'm a sports buff, film buff personified. Surfing is my favorite sport. Mixed martial arts is second. No disrespect to either one for that. But basically, I am a family man. I'm all about my family, my loved ones, taking care of everybody. And, just right now in this COVID-19 environment, we have to do what we have to do. And it's all about being safe, protocol, wearing a mask, washing your hands. Whoever disagrees with that is part of the problem. They're not part of the solution. And that's really what we have to concentrate. And hopefully we get back to some form of normality within 6 to 12 months because it's going to be that long.
Yeah, and it seems that way. And you did mention the mask thing, which is very important. I did want to bring up too, Michael Bisping. He did say I forgot what podcast he said. He said he said that I guess he wasn't wearing a mask or I don't know what. And he's like, hey, the buff put me in check. Is that more or less what happened?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I love Michael. He's a friend, but it's like put on your effing mask. I mean, what are you doing here? This is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm that way with everybody. And the reason I'm that way is because when you have a 6 degrees of separation and people have gotten sick by it, And people, who know people who've died by it. Like one of my friends just had a 44-year-old firefighter who could do a Ninja Warrior show. He
Wow.
got it. He was dead 3 days later.
Oh my
So don't
God.
tell me it's all about uncompromising people. There's been 9 children or more in the United States that have died from it. People your age that are supposed to be just doing whatever. The young people think that they're invulnerable, and therefore walking around with asymptomatic things. And it's sure, maybe the elderly are the ones getting affected or the ones that are dying. It's not just the dying. People have to understand that if you get this, young or old, and it's still under investigation or experimentation right now, lung damage. I don't want membrane damage to my lungs.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Mm-mm.
I don't want neurological damage. I don't want to suffer from a stroke because my heart now is not working correctly. Yeah, okay, I didn't die. Well, I don't want to live with that for the rest of my life. Okay, so think twice, folks. Think twice. And right now, the only reason the spikes are happening is when, especially the young people, don't think about it and they get together with the parties and or are idiots and have COVID-19 parties to see who can catch it. I can't believe some of the stuff I've read.
Yeah.
It's okay, great, but if other countries have proven if it's handled correctly, we'll get this thing down and get rid of it, or at least get a handle on it. We don't have that handle on the United States. We're the leading country in the world for this thing right now.
Which is unfortunate to hear. And with your platform, I mean, I'm sure everybody will listen to you, whoever, because it is very important, and a lot of people aren't taking it serious, like you said. And I hate to admit it, it is a lot of the younger crowd that isn't listening to that aspect.
And the older too, are like people that are real diehard Trump followers because we don't have a president that leads by example. He's starting to in his own little way, but the damage is done.
Yeah.
You got people out there fighting each other because somebody wants to wear a mask. You see all this stuff. It's crazy times, man. We live in the twilight zone.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree. I did want to ask you too about the "It's time" catchphrase. Is that something you came up with yourself?
Yeah. Well, it's time is a generic saying that's been said for years, forever. But it's not what I say, it's how I say it.
Yeah.
That's the key. So I used to wake up every day, and I still do, shave or whatever, and I'll say, it's time, to have the best day possible.
Yeah.
You start out the show saying, it's time to begin the Ultimate Fighting Championship, right? And Dana and I had a talk, and he wanted me to calm down a little bit.
Okay.
So in the main event, there was a point where I realized that the fans have been sitting here for 5 hours. The fighters have trained for 6 to 8 weeks. It comes down to this one defining moment. It's time. And that's where that all came from.
Okay.
And that's it. And 2 words said correctly that mean a lot. And that's what it's all about. This is the moment.
Yeah. And now that's what we think about when we hear "it's time." Oh, we're just amped up. We think it's fight time, right? So that's super awesome.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, too, you mentioned the way you say it makes a difference. I definitely TJ Dillashaw is one of my favorite fighters of all time. Obviously, when he's in there, you guys just have that synergy, that connection. Is it difficult being an announcer that announces everybody's name to not lean or I guess you could say root for certain fighters?
Well, I go in with a equal opportunity announcing attitude. A lot of these guys are my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched BJ Penn's last couple fights when he wasn't doing well, and I get tears in my eyes because he's like my little Hawaiian brother. It's like, why the hell are you here? You should be retired, And I mean that with all respect to BJ because he's still one of the greatest fighters around. But there's a time when you got to say it's over. So I have a lot of emotional feelings for my friends, but at the same time, I'm there to do my job. And I have to separate both. And I can't announce one more than I can announce the other. Now, I can interact with one more than the other because they started. They interact with me. Or I find myself over in their corner. I've never instigated a fist bump. That comes from them to me. And people say, oh, don't fist bump him, you'll lose, because they did it. Add it all up. It's 50-50, whatever. It just cracks me up. It's like people say, oh, well, why does he always stand behind the fighter during a split decision? We know that he's going to win. Well, I only have 2 fighters to choose to stand behind. And the director tells me to stand to one side, because of a split screen, for people to understand how this works. So it's like, okay, well, let's see. I just stood behind the winner on the last split decision. So let me stand behind the guy that didn't win. And then I'll stand behind the guy that didn't win again to throw the audience off. And now I got to stand behind the guy that won. You only have 2 choices. So it's like, hey, people are funny. People always have an opinion about everything. And God bless the fans. The UFC MMA fans are the greatest fans in the world. They're awesome. I love the fans. I love them.
Very passionate, right?
Oh yeah. I always say whatever you want about me. You know, like my work, don't like my work. Just spell my name correctly. That's all I ask.
Exactly. And like you had talked about when you're going to announce the winner, is it difficult sometimes when you see who won and necessarily don't agree with the decision? Is it hard to keep that poker face? I know you're a poker player, but
Not hard to keep the poker face, but don't kill the messenger. You know,
uh,
yeah, there's times I get there and I'm like, really? But I gotta like keep my face there and get it done because I don't, fighters, coaches will be looking at me wanting to know the decision before I say it, or
yeah.
friends I know, hey, Bruce. And I'm like,
Yep.
or I'll have the card here and they're trying to look over my shoulder. You know, it's funny. So, but I got a job to do and I have to do that job correctly.
No, no, definitely. And then last thing about introducing the fighters, the whole thing with Dillashaw and also Chiesa, did they talk to you before announce? It's just spur of the moment.
I will not rehearse ever unless I'm
Ah,
making a movie or a TV show.
okay.
Okay. I don't rehearse my announcing. I might go over the names before I say them to
Yeah.
myself. I go out there and do it. I don't want to. There's such thing as a rehearsal voice and a live voice.
Okay.
And if I interacted with fighters, I mean, sure, Kies and I said, Mike, I know you're going to do something. Don't tell me. Let's just have fun. After he started doing it, no, let it happen organically. That's the way to do it. Anything else is rehearsed, and that's false. And
Ah,
I'm real. I'm real. I'm organic. I mean, I tell the truth. Unless you're playing me in poker, I will lie through my teeth and get your chips. But otherwise, I'm all about honesty, and I just want to keep it that way. Keep it real, keep it organic, and go out and perform naturally. That's when it's the best.
well, Mr. Buffer, that's why you're the absolute best. That's
Well,
why
thank you.
you are where you are. You have as much success as you have, and why little fans like us are just clamored every time you announce somebody.
Well, I appreciate that, but once you do me a favor, don't ever refer to yourself as a little fan because obviously you're not little. Okay. And
Yeah.
second off, don't ever treat yourself less than who you are. You're a fan. All the fans need to be treated equally. I love the fans. I appreciate your fandom, and you're just as important as I am, my friend. We're all created equal in this world. We just stand out because we either can jump higher, hit a ball faster, run faster, announce better, whatever. But the bottom line is we're all human beings. So I treat everybody around me with respect, and I treat everybody as equals.
I'm blown away, Mr. Buffer. I'm ready to run through a brick wall now. I appreciate that. I know, I know you have time constraints and all that. You've given us amazing time. I love it. I appreciate that
My pleasure.
so much. Right now, the floor is yours. Anything you want to talk about, bring up. It's all on you, Mr. Buffer.
Well, in 2 weeks, thank you. In 2 weeks, I will be releasing my new bourbon. And I don't know if you heard about it or not, but it's a big deal. This is called Puncher's Chance.
Awesome.
Okay. This is a very high quality bourbon. We're going to be open in about 8 states, and stay tuned to my Instagram, Bruce Buffer UFC on Instagram. You'll be able to order it through a website, the whole bit. It's all about the underdog. It's about having that one punch, but we got 100,000 or so barrels of the finest top shelf level Kentucky bourbon known to man.
Nice.
And Puncher's Chance, I love the name. It's the way I live. I'm all about the underdog. And I'm very excited about this. It'll be coming out. I've also got my own line of energy products and cologne and facial products coming out at the beginning of the year. But right now I'm going to focus on Puncher's Chance. And it's going to be a really, really cool thing. So if you enjoy sipping a good, fine bourbon, follow me on Instagram, Bruce Buffer UFC. Also, too, one of the things that my partner Kristen and I put together is we have a program here that you can go into my website, brucebuffer.com. And I do championship introductions, audios and videos, like you're being introduced as a champion in the cage. And I did this as a Christmas gift one time, and it just took off, and we have not been able to stop. We're inundated with so many orders for that, and birthdays and birth of babies and weddings and graduations and voicemails and all the other, and business things, business meetings, represents your products. But if you're a fan and you want something that lasts forever, we make it very inexpensive compared to what I normally would get for it, but it's fine. I want to give back. And we give partial proceeds to animal, military, and children charities. And we actually get tears in our eyes at the thank you notes we get because we're making people happy. It cracks me up.
That's
And it also
beautiful.
puts tears in my eyes that I'm making somebody happy. Pay it forward, everybody. Pay it forward in your life a little bit so you can get it back.
Definitely. And you will be hearing from me when it comes to my master's graduation and for my wedding. I want those. It's time for both of those events.
No problem. You got a lucky girl yet?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Very cool.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Very,
So
congratulations.
yeah. So again, we definitely appreciate you, Mr. Buffer. You're a super busy guy, and I know you said don't refer yourself as little. We have one of the smallest podcasts in the world, so having you on here just makes our day. We very much appreciate you.
My pleasure. Put it out on Twitter and tag me, and I'll retweet it for you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Thank you so much. All the best to you. Stay strong, stay safe, and stay sane.
Awesome. Have a great day, Mr. Buffer. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.